Say what needs to be said. Mr. Pick Six back with another episode. Check it out, check it out. All right. Y'all see the swag today. Y'all see the swag. Had to bring a little swag today because we talking about the Colorado Buffs and Coach Prime. What amazing game. If y'all ain't watched that game against TCU, man, it's a great game overall, first and foremost, man. Shout out to both sides of the field, both kids, the TCU players and the Colorado Buff kids, man. Everybody was going out there. They put on a great performance on national television, and it was well worth the wait. So let's get into this thing, right? First of all, we know Coach Prime, he has had a long journey to get to the University of Colorado. If you don't understand, if you're just looking at him now and you're looking at the brighter side of things, no, that journey was a long journey of waiting. And he accomplished what he set himself out to accomplish. He started off, if you don't remember, back in a few years ago in high school, starting a team in Dallas. You know, he went through the trials and tribulations, overcame those things, you know, got those kids. I mean, it's amazing how he started, first of all. You got to understand that. He just started from pretty much the ground up and created a program, right? And got his kids involved. It's a family affair. All those kids loved him. Don't forget about where everything started at, right? So Coach Prime been on this journey for a little while now. Not because what you see all the fame and the winning and stuff like that. So boom, Coach Prime starts in high school. He's coaching his kids. His kids getting scholarships. They're doing pretty good. You know, I think the first son, the DB, I don't want to get his name wrong. Can't think of Shiloh Sanders. He was committed to University of South Carolina. And then after a couple seasons, more high school seasons, Shedeur Sanders commits to the University of Florida Atlantic, FAU University. I bet everybody didn't realize that or forgot about that. Shedeur Sanders was committed to FAU, Florida Atlantic University. See, you just see the big picture. This has been a journey. This is a grind. This is some type of history being made and accomplished. This is motivating. This is inspiring. This is a lot for us to look at as human beings, kids, or whatever, something to learn from, right? So, like I said, they set out this journey. Last one commits to FAU. Coach Prime, as a father, I understand what he's going through and I know how he's feeling. He's feeling like he has to do something and something has to be done, right? So he takes his journey from high school to college. And guess what? No, they're not just going to give him what he wants. So he has to settle for what he can get. So he chooses Jackson State University, a HBCU, a black college university, right? So he went there, made a great name for himself, showed what his marketing ability and his marketing skills, what it does for a program, turns the program around, brings so much attention and notoriety, does so much greatness for the kids, right? And he goes to Jackson State and is able to land a number one prospect commit. The number one player in the country, Travis Hunter. Coach Prime goes to Jackson State and is able to land the number one player in the country. And not only does it land them, they create a bond so tight that it's probably unbreakable. This kid believes in Coach Prime so much he follows him everywhere. And wherever he's going to go, wherever Coach Prime goes, that's where Travis Hunter said he will go. So Coach Prime ends up at the University of Colorado, as we all know. And this kid was at Jackson State. His other son was at Jackson State. And now everybody transfers, right? I mean, the evolution of things and how this is transpiring. His son was just committed to the FAU. It's not a bad school. It's an up-and-coming school. You know, back in the days, it was more of a D2 school, but now it's D1. But it's not the top of the line schools that he would think. I'm sure he thought Florida State will offer his son a scholarship. I don't know if that happened. All the big schools, Florida, UM, Michigan. I mean, you just think about all the Division I schools that didn't offer him a scholarship. So now he pioneers his way to the top, to a Division I program. Not the best program, one of the worst programs, if I want to be quite honest today. You understand what I'm saying? One of the worst programs who has a losing tradition. Last year, they were 1-11. So Coach Prime comes to take on this journey up in Boulder, Colorado, in the middle of nowhere. It's cold and mountains and it's freezing. Right? He says, I have to come here and it changed the environment, changed the mindset, because what he said was built there wasn't a mentality for winning in a tradition of winning. So like I always say, coaches like to come in and bring what they believe can change programs and get rid of the things that may have been a part of the losing traditions. So he came in White House. He cleared it out, and all the critics came for him. What are you doing, Coach Prime? You can't do this in college. What are you doing? You're going to lose. Your roster doesn't look good. Man, let me explain one thing to y'all. You don't put a man's back against the wall. When you put a man's back against the wall, he don't have a choice but to come out swinging. So Coach Prime looks at it like you put his back against the wall. He is Coach Prime, an American icon. Deion Sanders, baseball, football, making music, track, playing 2 games, in one day, all these type of things that is make him an American icon now. Goes from HBCU to Colorado Buffs and changes the program in 1 year. His first game, they're playing against the defending, was the national champions, or they made it to the national championship, right? So let's talk about the actual game, because that game was incredible. Like I said, if you didn't get to see it, man, it's Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. Man, let's talk about Shedeur Sanders first. Like I said, I went through it, the commitment and what he had to go through to get to where he's at. Big shout out to his father who helped lead the way. But Shedeur Sanders throws a very pretty ball. It is so pretty coming out his hands. It looks like it's so catchable. It's so beautiful. And don't forget the accuracy. He is very accurate with the ball. He has a great touch and great arm strength. So I think this is going to make him a great prospect. It is going to make him a great prospect. And ain't no need to think about it. You used to think, but now he comes out and shows us pretty much on national television in front of everyone. He comes out there, he throws a pretty ball. And the connection with him and Travis Hunter, that is insane. Obviously, he had a few drops. He probably could have had 600 yards. Man, he's throwing that ball. He's slinging that ball around. And, it's working for him. They have a coordinator. There's experience. Help putting the players in the best position. Now, Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball, just like Coach Prime did back in his days. Can you see that? Like, the coach understand this is not this old school type of coach mentality where you can't do this and can't do that. We're gonna see what you can do, and whatever you can take, we're gonna put it on you too, because we know you have the ability to be this person, to be this great player that I envision you to be, right? Because a lot of us want to do that, play offense and play defense coming out of high school, because we was doing it in high school. But they don't allow that because, the game is more physical, more grueling and tiresome, right? But Travis Hunter, man, if you didn't see the way this man just balls, he's what you call a gamer, right? What side of the ball is he better on? I can't understand. I don't really understand, but he had over 100 yards passing, 9, 10 catches. So, and just on the other side of the ball at defensive back, he's just raw. He's just out there reacting and playing. That's what you call raw talent, raw abilities. Big shout out to Travis Hunter for having faith, having belief in Coach Prime, and Coach Prime doing whatever it took to get these young men on the stage that they are now, right? Because they believed in you, Coach Prime, especially him, number 1 pick, could go anywhere, right? Now let's talk about the Colorado, right? So as you're watching the game, you see the game, and things just look different. Now, if you look at the sidelines at the University of Colorado last year compared to this year, things are totally different. It looks like night and day. So like I said, Coach Prime comes from Jackson State. When you look at the sidelines now at Colorado Buffs, the sidelines look just like when he was just at Jackson State. If you seen on the sideline, you seen one of the young men hugging Coach Prime. And I know what he was feeling. He's like, Coach Prime, thank you for this opportunity, man. Without you, I probably never get this opportunity coaching at the highest level in Division I college. This is what's happening out here. Coach Prime is breaking down barriers that have never been done before. And what do I mean by that? Going into institutions that not used to the culture that you're used to, and you want to put your will on this team and this new environment that they're not used to. A whole different culture. Impose your will on them. You want to impose your will on this environment that is not used to this culture that you coming from. And he goes there and he does it. Yes, it made everybody uncomfortable. Made a lot of people uncomfortable. He even had to cut people. He told them, hey, man, get your bags. Time to get out. A lot of the people don't belong here, blah, 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 blah. And what he did, he brought talent and speed around his son, the quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, to help him be successful. And that speed is showing. I mean, from throwing the screens, throwing the deep balls, over routes, crossing routes, choice routes. Man, the kid looked amazing out there, man. Big ups to Shedeur Sanders. Sorry, I keep getting the names mixed up. But like I said, Coach Prime is giving opportunities to people that would never probably have had that opportunity. You can never say never, but he bringing them right along with him. This is inspiring, not to just the kids, but just to the world, period. The journey if you understand the journey and what he has gone through and why he's doing these things, you can't do nothing but respect Coach Prime, man. Coach Prime is doing his thing. So let's talk about the offense, the pros and cons a little bit, right? You know, this little pass-happy offense, that's why he threw for 500 yards. Do I think they can run the ball a little more? Maybe so. Maybe that will help out the defense. But for now, it's working, and it worked. So the pass-happy offense. You got a pass-happy offense, and why I'm saying pass-happy offense, because when you have a pass-happy offense, it can get you in trouble sometimes, right? So in the fourth quarter, Colorado's offense starts to break down. The team starts to break down a little bit, right? The beginning of the fourth quarter, they start to break down. This is what was most impressive to me about the team and the culture that around there, that Coach Prime and that he's instilling into these kids. So they start to break down. Adversity is hitting. They're dropping the ball, interception or whatever, fumble recovery. I don't think he threw any interceptions. And boom, they get stopped. And it looks like the momentum is about to change. And then boom, Shedeur answers. They get the ball back and he answers. Deep ball, crossing route, over route, touchdown. That's the will of a champion. When he answers to adversity and help lead his team to victory, man, that was what's most impressive to me. Because this was not just no slapdick team out there. They're playing against the defending national champions, TCU. So that was one positive in the game that I was most excited about. Seeing him answer, meaning Shedeur Sanders, when adversity hits. And I saw the adversity starting to come in the fourth quarter, and you show that's a sign of a good team in the making, right? Last year, Colorado played TCU the same time, first game of the season, and that score was 38-13. Put things in perspective a little bit. I know TCU has a new revamped team, but we still got to call apple an apple because, it was two very good coaches going at it, toe-to-toe. Player for player. And I think, and Coach Prime showed and solidified himself as a top coach, at least for now. Now, unlike the NFL seasons that were very long, college is pretty quick, but it's still a season. So a lot of things will transpire, a lot of things will happen. And not only that, in Colorado, we all know it gets very, very, very cold. Very, very cold. So when the winter hits and it gets a little colder, let's see how these down south boys respond. But we know from those down south boys, we got the heart of a lion and the mentality of a, you know what I mean? But let's see how it's going to respond. But all in all, man, Coach Prime, you're doing your thing, man. It was a great job. You came out, you had the world looking at your football team, the kids, you had the bull's eyes on your kids like anybody wants. Everybody's name is being recognized. The stars is coming out. And what a good show, man. What a great game. Colorado Buffs and TCU, man. That was just an amazing game. Can't wait till the next game, Coach Prime. We're going to keep this thing going. But Mr. Pick Six here had to say what needs to be said. Check out the hat. Had to bring the swag for the Colorado Buffs, baby. All right, man. Say what needs to be said. I'm out.